Okay, well, at least I know for everybody out there, I got to fix that intro because it ran a little too long at the end. So I apologize. But what's going on, everybody? This is really weird to be in a daytime live. Let me just plug in the heat press. We're doing it Mr. Rogers style, where I'm sort of getting ready while we're doing this, which is good. I just don't have a cool cardigan yet. But hey, everyone, welcome to what is this? How many Oh Scrap giveaways have we done now? Is this 4? The 4th annual semi-annual Oh Scrap giveaway. We're going to have some fun today. So we're going to do a fun craft, get back to the basics, get back to the normal of doing something at noon, having some fun with you guys. We're going to do some cutting. We're going to do some weeding. We're going to do some learning. And ultimately, we're just going to have some fun. So for anybody out there that's been catching the Siser After Darks, thank you so much for attending. If you haven't already, get involved, go and register, make sure that you can, get yourself a spot at the Siser After Dark. It's where you can interact with me and the team live, just like you can here, ask all the questions, but it's very specified on specific things that we're learning, doing, and growing together. So with that said, I'm Partrick Ali. For anybody who is new to the channel, or if you're just watching this video for the first time and you figured out, oh, there's this Siser company somewhere. It's Siser for anybody out there, but I'm Partrick. I'm the lead educator here at Siser. I'm the one that gets to have fun with you, do some fun crafts. Today, I am saddened to tell you that our Sultan of Syllables, our grammatical gatekeeper, needed some R&R. So unfortunately, he's not here today to answer any of your comments, but in his place, we have a couple of all-stars. We got a couple rock stars sitting behind the comments today. I'm going to start over on the far end. You know her. She's one of the newest on the team, but you've seen all of her content, all of the short form stuff she's been doing, the TikTok stuff she's been doing, the really fun stuff. Honestly, what we're doing today, she just did. So I'm kind of copying her today, but it's our very own Myrna. Say hi, Myrna.
Hi, everyone.
All righty. And listen, after a long awaited return, I mean, we literally had to go up to the professional level, bring her back down to the minors with all of us here on the team. But you know her, she's the maestro of the evening, just had a birthday not too long ago, but it's our very own.
Hi, Anna.
Anna is back in studio with us hanging out. Will not be here for the After Dark tomorrow, but no big deal. It's okay.
You know what? It felt so good to say that, though.
Yeah.
Partrick and I were just talking about how this is our first normal Tuesday live since February.
Since the launch of the deep cut, you said, right? Yeah, since the launch of the deep cut blade, we've been able to come back on now again, and we're hoping to do some more of these. So we're going to definitely plan out some more just noon lives, fun craft lives, do a fun project, teach you a thing or two while we're here. But other than that, let us know again where you're watching from. Say hi to everybody, drop some hearts into the comments, and ultimately, you guys already know we're going to be doing potentially, maybe, sort of, we're giving stuff away today. And I mean, talk about giving away the whole farm. But let's go over a project first. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over a quick little project of using scraps. I'm going to actually grab one of these scrap bags, and I'm going to use one of our giveaway winners, a couple of scraps, but don't worry, I'll throw some more back in there for you. But we're going to show you not only how to utilize your scraps in a fun way, but we're going to show you how to cut them all into strips and basically cut everything at the same time on a mat, and then be able to transfer that whole design all at the same time. Anna, do we have any business stuff to take care of at the front of the live, or can I hop into it?
You can hop in, but I did want to call out, I think her name was Ellie. It's our very first live with us. Welcome, Ellie.
Ooh, welcome, Ellie. Welcome to your first live. And sorry if I annoy you, but I hope you learned something. No big deal. All right. So with that, I also do want to call out really quick. Had Miss Carla call us in yesterday, was having some problems with Leonardo Design Studio, not connecting to her cutter, was able to get on the phone with her yesterday, and super appreciative. But Carla, if you're watching in the live, nice to officially meet you yesterday. And thank you so much for taking my call and letting me annoy you while I try to fix your problem. But ultimately, we got it fixed. So that's the nature of our support team. It's an awesome support team from not only the main team that does all of those product and software and material support, but all of us that kind of work behind the scenes as well to make sure that we're answering all of your questions. So let's hop in and let's just get started. So what I'm going to do first is we got scraps today, guys. You know, we're giving away scraps. If you've been to an a semi-annual Oh Scrap giveaway, then you guys already know that we always try to find some fun projects, and today is no different. We're actually going to show you not only how to take your scraps and use them all in one, we're going to show you how to cut them into strips, lay them all down on a mat at the same exact time, and be able to easy peel that whole design off and have a really cool like rainbow effect with your design. So heat press is set. First thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to throw this up on screen for you, we're going to be working with a file that's directly in Leonardo Design Studio, okay? So this file, if I go over to my design library and type in the word love, this design is about 3/4 to the end of the page. Go ahead and click on it and bring it on over to your mat. Now, what I did is I've separated this design into a couple different layers. I'm going to use one solid back layer, so we're going to find a scrap for that. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup these layers, and I want to just keep all of the letters together. And we're going to bring this over as a separate design. And then we're going to find some scraps that'll help us cover up some of these pink little drops that we have here as well. So let me group those together. So now I'm working basically in 3 layers, which all can be identified on the properties menu inside Leonardo Design Studio. It's popping up on your side, right? Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to find a couple of different scraps. Number one, we're going to find one solid color scrap. So we're going to be looking for a purple in the bag. We're going to look for pink, but then we're going to also not worry necessarily about the color of all 4 of these, because we're going to do a fun little effect with this. So I'm just going to change this layer to black and weld that layer together just so it's separated from any other portion of our design. So first thing we got to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to look through this and see what I can find. I got some pink that we can use. This looks like pink or raspberry easy weed. That one we're going to set to the side. I'm going to use, let's find like a purplish color. And Anna, if there's any questions or any comments while we're on or doing this, feel free to ask away. And if you guys do have any comments, questions, concerns, anything like that, please, please, please ask away, and we can answer them throughout this live.
Well, we got Roseanne Heller in the house, and I did not know that we shared a birthday month. So happy birthday, Roseanne.
Happy birthday, Roseanne.
Cortez
Nice.
is chiming in.
What's up, Cortez?
Says, but he's here.
Hey, hey, hey. What's going on, Cortez? All righty. Who else do we got chiming in?
We have Kim chiming in, saying it's the best time of year. We agree. It's
I love it.
Summertime. Stephanie from Bakersfield, California.
Hello, hello.
We got Diane.
Hello,
I'm
hello.
realizing I need Adam back to be able to flip back and forth between you two.
It's a little bit tough, huh? All right, so the way I'm going to show this one too, just so you guys know in the room as well, is I'm going to do a couple of slightly larger strips just to get the idea, because you guys at home are going to be able to recreate this and add as many different strips as you want, as thin and as thick as you want. This same method's going to apply, but instead of me sitting here searching through a bunch, I will save you some time there. What's up, Anna?
Well, no, I just threw a question out to the group both on Facebook and YouTube. Who here actually saves their scrap? I'm kind of curious. What size do you consider a scrap?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good. Is this considered a scrap to you at home? Is this considered a scrap to you at home, or is literally this considered a scrap? But also follow-up question to that too. How do you store your scraps? Because I think a lot of people in the comments right now could definitely use some help with how, the best ways or most efficient ways that you can actually store all of those scraps together. Do you guys say, what do you guys think? What are your scrap preferences? Do you guys save full sheets, or do you usually get rid of them?
I think here at Siser, we're a little biased on
I guess so.
Save scraps just because of all the sheets of material we have. We just run and grab another one. I like I think it's 3 pairs of ears. Lauren, she saves them in a binder that's see-through. So all the colors are together and she can quickly flip through just to see.
I like that.
So that one's fun.
That one's cool. What about you, Myrna?
At home, I save every little piece I can because I know I will always have a project that will require a little bit of some color. And what I did in the past was just have bags, and each bag would be color coordinated, kind of like the binder idea. But, I feel like another way is with one of those 12 by 12 cardstock boxes. I feel like that's a good way.
I thought I had one down here somewhere, but it must be out there. But yeah, the cardstock box is good. That you know what? I'll pose another question to you while I'm just getting the rest of these together. This was from a Karina Gardner event that I did a while back. What is the like weirdest thing or craziest thing that you've been able to like pull off with scraps? and only using, or majority of the project was using scraps?
I don't know. I don't do too many weird projects, but I feel like the one that's coming out on Juneteenth,
yeah,
that I'll be doing is gonna be a fun one.
Nice.
I never did anything like that before.
Yeah.
But what I mostly use scraps for is if I have a little piece in my design that's missing, I'll just cut that piece out of a
that's smart. Yeah.
And scrap over it together.
See, I just don't color coordinate my scraps. So when I actually get to that point, like I'm a lost cause at home. For sure, a lost cause. Alrighty, let's see what some people are saying though. How do they use their scraps? And then we'll hop in to start and cut this and get this all set up for the folks.
Yeah, a lot of people chiming in saying the plastic containers. We've seen Ziploc bags. That's an interesting one. Leslie said I have a hanging folder box. I'd be curious to hear more about that.
Oh yeah, that is interesting.
And then some people also talking about how they separate HTV from PSV as well.
Oh, okay, nice. I like that. Yeah, I'm not the best. I'm definitely not the person to ask with scraps.
And Emily chiming in saying, with the amount of things I misspell, I need all the scraps which is so true.
That is very true. I get it. Alrighty, so what I'm doing right now is, for us, we have the convenience of having like the little, what is it? Little Fiskars cutter, little photo cutter. So we have a straight blade. You guys can also at home, if you have a steady hand, you can use a pair of scissors for this. But all I'm basically doing is taking each piece of my scrap and I'm just going to cut a strip off. And I'm going to do each of these strips about a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, just because once I actually get those down on the next step and show you guys this next step, I'll have a bunch of these little strips which will ultimately make a really nice little rainbow effect to my design. But I'm going to cut a couple of each strip just to have some extra in case I run out of room and I need some. But I'm just going to go through each one of these, making sure that I'm also not duplicating my scraps, which I was just about to do. And then through this project, it's a really, really simple project, honestly, guys. Like what this is what we're going to do is we're going to take each of these scraps and we're going to lay these down in a rainbow pattern and we'll be able to cut them at once. But Myrna, that video went out already, right? Not yet. Okay, that video will come out soon. But as you'll see in Myrna's fun scrap video, is the method we're going to be using. We're going to steal a little page out of her book for this, and we're going to actually be using a piece of TTD mask. So that usually the transferred mask that you would use for a printable material or something like an Easy Color DTV, and that's actually going to help keep not only those scraps stable into one piece, but once we get to the weeding portion of those scraps, it'll allow us to just pick up that entire piece all at once and apply it all at once as well. So shout out to Myrna for project coming soon. All right, so I'm getting through some of these here.
We actually had Vanessa chime in to say specifically, and I know you'll cover this, but when I try to use multiple colors on one mat, they pop off during cutting. Any tips? That's
a really good, so that's actually a really good thing. So this method that we're going to be showing you today should help you combat some of that for sure. But essentially, we're going to, like I said, we're going to be using that TTD mask or that printable mask almost as like a stabilizer for our entire design. So that'll help make it a little bit easier for us. Let's see what else we got. Oh, somebody said they love the Uncle Buck shirt, so I got to show it off. What did we do this one for? I know it was for a funsie, but
I was just about to say, so the funny story behind the shirt, Partrick at the end of probably that one of those last lives that you did.
It had to have been one of the first 3 or 4, I think.
Of this.
Because I got it like halfway through. Oh, maybe you're right.
No, you were signing off and you were just waving.
Oh yeah, it's Cortez and I did ours.
Holding your wave until Adam was able to close out the live, and I screenshotted the last.
That's so funny.
That you had a hat on, the same smile as John.
Oh wait, hold on. Is it this way? Yeah, it's on this.
Yep. So then the next live we made you wear that shirt.
That's it. Yeah, there we go. So now this is just forever. I'm immortalized as John Candy of the craft world. I love it.
Well, then, of course, we made a 0-1.
Yeah. That's right. Cortez, we need you back in the office, man. I want to do some videos with you, bud. All righty. Is Cortez in the comments right now? I just heard little birdie told me the other day / Cortez will be back up here for a wedding soon. So maybe we need to work in a live while Cortez is here.
We should absolutely do that.
Cortez, please chime in because you're cordially required to attend a live with me while you're in town. Alrighty, so I have a few different types of material too. So I'm going to go a little rogue. I don't know how how wild Myrna got on her design just yet, but I'm going to go a little rogue and I'm using a lot of different materials. So I got electric, I got easy weed, I have some eco stretch in here. I have neon material in here that's a slightly thicker. I have some sparkle in here. So we're really kind of testing the limits of this project at the same time that we're going to be doing it. But the good news is as most of you know, most everything at Siser is usually similar, if not very, very close to the same cut settings, same heat settings, all of that kind of stuff for the most part. So this project will be really cool once we're done. All right, I got one more sheet that I got to cut. And this is just going to be our white layer. All right. Why don't we go over really quick, Anna, how your birthday weekend went? It was so fun. Did you do anything fun?
But very draining. Yes.
Very draining, yeah.
Yes, I actually went to do we have any country fans in the house? Ooh. I went to Russell Dickerson. It was super fun.
Nice. I had to look at that from Grand Rapids because I was gone.
Susan actually just chimed in of a way that she uses scraps to cover up mistakes, which is actually a great idea.
Yeah, it's a really, really good idea.
And then the other one I've seen a lot of lately, actually, people covering up stains. Or
stains?
Things that won't come out.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
If you have a tough stain that just will not go away. I know if my mom is in the comments. She likes to spill coffee on her white garments quite often. And
sorry, Judy.
If you can't get that stain out, it's a great way to like add some pizzazz, but just cover it up instead of trying to get it
out. That's a good idea. I've never thought of that. Oh, but you know what? I will reference back to the swimsuit video where we did, that was what the whole purpose of that one was, covering up a stain. So no, I have done that before. I have seen it before.
Ooh, and Michelle chiming in to say on ripped jeans as well.
Oh, that's cool.
I've seen that as well. I know, don't people use brick sometimes for kids, like shins or
it's strip
knees?
Flock typically, yeah, to help to reinforce the knees, especially like crawling toddlers. It works really, really well. All right, so we're done cutting all of our strips out. So now I have a boatload of these scraps, okay? So we got a bunch of strips now. Here's where the fun happens. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a cutting mat, okay? First thing we need is we definitely need a source to be able to hold all of our scraps. Now for some of you out there, you may be in the business of taking each of your scraps and laying them directly on your mat, but to Myrna's ingenious video coming out soon, you guys will see, and I know we've done this in the past from time to time as well. We're going to actually take a piece of TTD mask. So this right here, again, is that transfer mask that you would use for any heat transferable material. So not PSV. So the PSV is the one that has the grid lines on it. We want to use the non-grid lines because this will accept heat, whereas the PSV transfer mask or transfer tape will actually burn or melt under the high heat of the press. So what I'm going to basically do is just take my sheet and I'm going to lay it right down on my mat. And again, we're just going to use this for two purposes. Number one, this is going to help to preserve our mat because we won't be laying down a bunch of scraps and having a bunch of pieces. So if you are a paper maker or a paper crafter out there, another really good opportunity is if you throw some TTD Easy Mask over your mat before you start all of your cutting, it'll actually save that adhesive to your mat and it'll save your mat for a little bit more longevity out of it. Were one of you about to say something? Sorry, I thought somebody was going to the mic and I interrupted you halfway through.
No, just a lot of people chiming in of covering up any kinds of holes in any garments that they have. One apparently from a cat's claw. Ouch.
Ooh, yeah, that would be.
And then covering up the stains. Crystal said, my husband is the worst at staining his shirts.
Oh, really? I'm probably pretty bad at it too.
My dad is so bad.
Yeah. It's just the not paying attention is my problem. I just don't pay attention to what I'm doing. All right. So as you guys can see, I got my mat laid down. I have my TTD mask on top. And what I'm going to start doing is I'm just going to basically be taking my scraps. We still want to keep with the same heat, like heat transfer material application thoughts, right? So we're going to take all of ours and put them carrier side down. And for this one, I'm going to actually do all the strips going this way. So I feel like that's going to be a little bit easier. And then I can just kind of mix and match. So I'm going to find all the different colors that I want to add into this design. And I'm just going to make sure that they're butt up against each other so that when I actually see my scrap, there's no gaps in between each of them. However, the other thing to check, make sure that you don't overlap your scraps, right? Because if I have a higher ridge on one part of my design, not on the other, this can also affect or jeopardize your actual cut. So again, I'm just going to keep going on through in no particular color order. So all of my graphic artists that are in here can yell at me later. because that's what I'm not paying attention to is what color order I'm going in.
Guess we'll find out together.
I guess we'll find out. Listen, I'm a Comic Sans kind of gal, so, and everybody hates me in the office for it.
Does anyone else out there like Comic Sans? I just would like to know.
Everybody loves Comic Sans.
I don't know about that.
Everyone loves Comic Sans. Even all you graphic designers by nature love Comic Sans, and nobody ever wants to admit it. And I get it. It's fine. It's one of those things. It's like a long lost friend. You like want to say, I love that guy. He's so awesome. And then you ditch him. I get it. But Comic Sans is the only way, truth, and light.
Did Tony tell you he was banning it from Leonardo?
Are we taking sorry, guys. If you're a Comic Sans user, apparently we're taking it out of Leonardo indefinitely. That's fun. That's not a real thing, though, is it?
I mean, I believed him.
He doesn't like it either. Are you kidding me?
Chris in the comments is asking, does it matter if you go vertically or horizontally with this method?
No. The cool part about this, too, is that with this method, whether I'm just going this way, because the way that I have the design, I prefer it to be this way, but I can go diagonal, I can go vertical, I can go horizontal. I can do a combination. I've even seen, I did see one time, not with this method, but somebody using scraps that did, it's not chevron, but what is like the hardwood floor when you tile them like that?
Herringbone?
Herringbone. That's like that style. Like they almost made a pattern out of the scraps too, which was cool. So.
Oh, also officially, Siser says no one likes Comic Sans in all caps.
You know what? That's just Keith, and he's a graphic artist, so it doesn't count. I'll die on a hill for Comic Sans.
Patrick, I know you recommended the TTD mask for cardstock, but another one of my favorite uses for it is with felt.
Yeah.
It leaves a lot of fibers on the mat.
Yeah.
And with the TTD mask, it's just an easy peel to clean off.
That's a great suggestion. Yeah, that's an awesome suggestion, especially also too for like just regular fabric. So if you are somebody that's wanting to cut like a cotton material, that usually the fibers are a little bit tighter, but they still have tendency to flake off and shed. Yeah, that's an awesome suggestion. Alrighty, so I got all of my scraps lined up, even though I'm blocking you guys' view. We are down a camera in the studio, guys, so I do apologize in advance. You knew that, right? I told you? Okay. Just wanted to make sure. All right, cool. So all of my scraps are on there. Now, next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually load up our cutting mat into our cutter. Now, I don't have to do anything to this, but what I do want to make sure that I do, like we suggest, for every single time that we throw something into the cutter, we should do what first?
Test cut.
Bingo. Nice. Anna looked confused. I'm just throwing it out because you guys can't see them. Myrna came in with so much confidence, and Anna's like, I don't know what it is. Just kidding. All right, so I'm going to throw. I'm just going to throw this on into the cutter, and we're going to do a quick little test cut just to ensure that each of these layers are going to cut okay. And today I'm using, is that a 60 plus? Yeah, I'm using the 60-degree deep cut blade. Not that there's any specification on what blade you have to use for this. But just for me, I'm using this today out of convenience. So I'm starting my cut force at 13 for this, just because I am working against a little bit thicker mat too. So I just want to make sure that I get a good cut through each layer of my material. Now, when I do the test cut, the one thing I need to check for is not only making sure that it weeds okay from the first layer, but still making sure that I'm going each color layer that is cut by the test cut to ensure that it's cutting through both of those layers. So now I can see, I got my little t-shirt test cut, and you can see that that was split between two colors already. But remember, you're going to have to cut that off, obviously, when you go to apply or weed it out later on. So here's where the tricky part starts. And I think Myrna figured this out in the room when she was doing the video. But when you are doing your test cut and then you go to cut your design, when we get to the weeding portion, it's a good thing to have either your design on screen or know what pieces you need to weed out, because sometimes with multiple lines of scraps and then also multiple cut lines, we can get a little bit confused on like what piece we need to peel off, which could obviously lose you the wrong piece of your design and ultimately not work. Also, quick little hack that Keith just showed not too long ago in the support group. If you want to know how to line your mat up, there's two ways. Number one, there's always a guide strip that's on the side, a little gray guide strip. But the other way that Keith showed is just flip up the front door of Juliet, and then push your mat even up against that door, and then just flip your wheels down, and now the mat will be even inside the cutter. What's up?
I'm actually mind blown right now.
Are you? Keith,
always with the inventive ways of doing things.
He was boop bopping and beeping one day and messing around with something, and I asked him. He goes, "Yeah, I didn't thought of this, and I didn't realize it was a thing." And I was like, "That was super smart. I like it. I like it."
Emily also chimed in for those that were asking about horizontal versus vertical. She said she finds it for text-based designs that using a horizontal is more legible than putting the strips vertically.
Okay. So then that's actually a really good change, because hopping back into Leonardo, I was actually going to send this portion of my design vertical. So let's actually take a page out of Emily's book, and I'm going to flip this thing over. So what I'll do is I'm going to rotate it, and we'll actually do all of the strips going vertical, or wait, she say horizontal or vertical? Horizontal, sorry. So I was right. Okay. Just want to make sure. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hit send design. Now I have everything sized already to 5 inches tall, because again, we're going to be using, like we normally do, a hoodie bag, one of the drawstring bags, because obviously with the giveaway, I'm going to send one over to you. So on the send design menu, what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and mirror our design. Okay. Why is that? Hold on one second. Really quickly, just for the folks at home, let me fix this because our camera is mirrored for some reason. There we go. Okay. So now this all makes sense. So I'm going to now mirror my design so I can't read it, because remember, when we're using heat transfer vinyl, we're cutting our design in reverse so that we can go ahead and flip it over when we get to that step. So before I actually send my design to the cutter, the first thing that I'm going to do is I want to hit that little test cut option. And I just want to make sure that my design is not going to fall outside of my scraps. And in this case, the design falls perfectly within the strips that I made. So what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to change anything in my settings. I'm just going to use my normal cutter settings, and I'm going to simply send my design on over to the cutter. And I do want to change the speed though. Let's bring that down a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and hit send design. So first part of my design is cutting away. Now what I can do is start getting strategic and figure out what the base layer of my design is going to be and what those accent pieces will be. So I think, depending on what our cut design looks like, I think I might use this purple, but maybe we'll go to a darker one if it doesn't work as well as we wanted. So let's go ahead over to here. And now what I'm going to do is, for me personally, is I like working from strip to strip and from edge to edge. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this gray layer. And I'm just going to simply peel that off. And as you'll see, my design will start to appear as I get from each layer down. So, but the good news is that the TTD mask is holding the carrier for my material. So it's actually kind of making my life really easy to weed this out. All righty. Do we got any questions coming in? Any comments while we're doing this?
Kept playing catch-up reading here.
Yeah, I know, it's a lot.
There's so many people chiming in with different ways they use scraps. A lot of people saying that they use the gray strip on the Juliet itself to line up their mat, which works really well.
Works really, really well, yeah.
I did see someone say earlier that they use their scraps for children's shirts.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, because they're usually a little bit smaller than you're going to be able to get like a big 12 by 12 design. I like that idea.
Now we got some people chiming in about loving our t-shirt confetti.
Oh,
you could DIY your own with scraps. I'm just saying.
I'm just throwing it out there. We may or may not do, which I don't think a lot of people know, we may or may not do little secret giveaways when we see those fun things pop up in the group. Alrighty. Let's see. Almost done here. So I'm going strip by strip. Like I said, I kind of learned from Myrna the other day that it's possible to get lost in these designs, especially when you have a lot of strips. So I'm just trying to be careful to make sure that I'm basically weeding out all the portions of the design that we want to take away and keeping the ones that we want to keep as well.
We also have quite a few people chime in and just saying for various things they never would have thought of that, or they use transfer tape for felt, but never thought of using it for multicolored vinyl projects. So anyone that's here, if you try this method, please post it in our group so we can show you some love there and any other hacks on
that
you come up with.
Let me really quickly throw up where's it at? Siser North America. There we go. So that's our support group right there over on Facebook. So if you're already on Facebook and you're a member of the support group, thank you so much. If you're not a member of the support group, definitely go over to Facebook and find the Siser North America support group. And hopefully you learn a thing or two in there too. We always like to say it's like-minded creatives learning from other like-minded creatives. So it's fun.
And we have a couple people chiming in the comments too, saying they're just now getting into it and they missed the first part. Do not worry. These replays will be up immediately after this live.
Yep. So right there, you can see our design is cut in reverse. So what I'm going to basically do now, instead of peeling each individual strip, we can grab that main piece of TTD mask that we had on earlier. And just like that, all of our strips are on the mat, are on the same piece at the same time. What's up, Myrna?
We had somebody ask if the TTD mask is the same mask that is used for transferring rhinestones.
Right. So I will say that our TTD, we've tested a bunch. Rhinestones sometimes need a little bit porous transfer mask or a little bit more flexible. This works with our high-tack mask, will work with rhinestones. We have had a lot of success with that. However, it's not like what is made for specifically rhinestones, if that makes sense. Usually rhinestone transfer is a little bit more flexible, whereas this one doesn't give you as much flex to it, but definitely try it. I always say try it because we've had, like I said, we've had success with it as well.
But I think also to follow up with that, I would say this mask is more similar to that than it would be like a PSV.
Correct. Yeah.
Mask. Definitely more tacky.
Yeah, I agree with that. Alrighty. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just cutting out this layer. So as you can see, let's go over to this cam. As you can see, I got that all cut out. I mean, we're just working with some multicolored vibes going on here, which I love. This actually, for going rogue with the color selection, that's not bad.
Someone called it retro, so we're going to go with retro.
See, I'm good. I like it. All right. So because I have this design, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just looking at options for colors. Let's go with the purple. So we're going to go with the deep purple. So now that we're done with the matte and I don't have to throw anything on a matte, I can actually go ahead and just put this into my cutter, into the Juliet. Again, because it's a new material, even if we've used that same material, we're still going to do a quick test cut just to ensure that everything's cutting the right way. And because we're using a piece of Easy Weed, or I think this is actually Eco Stretch, because we're using a piece of Eco Stretch, the cut settings are really similar to regular Easy Weed. So for now, I'm actually dropped this down to a force of 10, and I kept the speed the exact same. So I'm just going to simply run that background layer, which should be super, super fast to cut out. And then we'll move on to the hot pink, which I'm not going to do pink for that. I think I'm going to do diamond dust, or not diamond dust, but sparkle for this.
We've had some questions on what the difference is between the TTD Easy Mask versus the high tack mask.
Strictly the tack. I mean, that is the big difference, is that with the Easy Mask, it just has a little bit less of a tack. So the Easy Mask, just so you kind of know a little bit of the evolution in history, the Easy Mask was originally made for our simple color print PU, which was our standard UV eco-solvent printable material, full color printable material that you could use on one of those really big machines like a Roland, a Mamaki, an HP, and things like that. Well, we came out with some other materials that were a lot thinner that the TTD the TTD Easy Mask, like the low tack mask, couldn't necessarily pick up that material and also pick it up without creating bubbles. So the solution to that was have a higher adhesive or a higher tack for those types of materials so that it would actually pick it up and transfer that material a little bit easier. So those are kind of the reason for both of them, but simple enough. That's just to say that for the high tack and low tack, it's really about the adhesive.
I'm also going to throw in that if there's anybody in the comments that uses Easy Color DTV, it's that same mask that comes with it, or you buy separately once you buy more of it, that he's using right now. Yeah. So you might just have some handy and you just don't know it.
Yeah, you might just have it laying around. Now, Myrna, were you able to do more than one of these with the same mask, or did you kind of forego and just do, like, did you reuse the main transfer tape at all?
I only did the project once. So,
oh, okay, gotcha. So you haven't gotten that far yet.
I feel like it's sticky enough to be reused.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Okay. Cool. I was just curious more so about that. Alrighty. So I'm moving over now to Sparkle, which again is a little bit thicker, but it's also a like glittery finish. So we're just going to do some of our accents. So we'll go back to our main design really quick so you can kind of see. Let me go ahead and send this on over. Just want to do a quick check of that test cut, and then we'll show you what the full design look like. So now we can start piecing together exactly what we've gone over and what we've done up to this point. Let's go ahead and send that. Now that that's sent, I can go back to my design. Let's go ahead and bring all of this back into one. Okay, so what we did is with the L, the O, the V, and the E, that's where we created our strips. Now we've also cut with the purple, our background, and now with the sparkle that we're going to be using in, I want to say that this one is yellow or buttercup. Yeah, buttercup yellow is what we're going to be replacing these pink little splashes of color with that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start weeding this part out, but let me actually get you up close and personal to the weeding, because any of the scraps that I have from this live, I'm also going to throw right back into the giveaway stuff. Let's go ahead and cut out that piece. I think that's everything. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and simply peel all of our color splash off. There we go. And there's another really good reason for the test cut itself. So not only did we add a test cut, so we were able to make sure and ensure that our material would cut appropriately, but also I use the test cut as a guide of what orientation. When we have things like this, where it's just like simple color droplets or accents, I like to keep those in alignment or in the same orientation as my test cut, because then once I actually weed out my test cut, I already can see what direction this design goes, and I don't have to kind of guess and check and flip it a bunch of times to kind of try to figure that out. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and lay it down now on my design. There we go. That one, and that one. Let's see, right about there. Should be good. And there. Okay, cool. So I am cut off a little bit by one of the labels that I have, but you can see my full design right there. And then now I think it's time to get into the application. Myrna, what do you think?
I agree.
All right, let's do it. She's just yelling at me to get done. She's telling me to wrap it up now.
Also, this is probably going to be very niche, but another way that I love to use scraps, especially PSB, is when I used to sell car decals, I would use the scraps as little freebies.
Yeah.
And I feel like customers really loved that.
Yeah, that's actually a really, really good way to do it too. I like that. All righty. So that's plugged in. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my bag, lay it down on my heat press, and we're just going to do, again, a quick pre-press. As we always tell you, always pre-press your garments, whether it's a bag, whether it's a shirt, whether it's a whatever. Make sure that you pre-press it for a few seconds. Now with that surface being hot, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to line up my entire design, okay, find where I want it to live. In this case, actually, let me bring that camera just a little bit closer for y'all. There we go. And then we'll bump up the light just a little bit on there.
What yellow did you just use?
Buttercup yellow. Sparkle. Was I not allowed? So like Comic Sans, nobody liked it?
We have a couple people asking about it.
Oh, okay. All right, so I can usually line this up. I peel everything but the back layer. For this one, because I have some strips, I just want to be a little bit careful. And I have a full contour, so I can kind of line up this contour the best that I can and go ahead and heat apply that for a couple seconds. And then what I'll be able to do, as you can see, the carrier stuck to the top, peels off pretty quickly. And then now what we can do next is we can go ahead and lay down all of our layers. Again, this is going to be one press, all of these layers at the same time. So let's go ahead and do this. Let me just make sure that I have this lined up the right way. Okay, it's favoring more of the contour up top. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let's go ahead and now we can press this part of the design. Now, because I have part of my label exposed, I do want to cover this up. Just because if I burn that label, I don't want any reason for it to jeopardize the upper platen of my heat press, because then I got to sit and clean that. Now, because we're using multiple scraps and we've cut them all together, we're pressing them all together, I'm giving it a little bit longer than a couple seconds, because remember, there were a couple of oddball materials that I decided to use in there, and some may not apply at the same time. But as you can see, I can go ahead and I can either peel off the main piece, and then if there's any strips left over, I can just peel all of those individually. Sometimes they'll all peel off in one. Sometimes you got to peel them all individually. Just depends. And right there, you can see already, our scrap design is already coming together. And I got a lot of different colors in there. I have orange easy wheat in there. I have a blue easy wheat in there. I have an electric. I have a sparkle in there. I have a metal in there, or metallic finish. There's a lot of different pieces in there. And then now, because again, I have that little test cut here, I know what orientation my little droplets go. So we're just going to add those into our design. And just like that, because everything is covered up, for me, I'm just going to heat apply it, really simple. And then we're going to do one final press to solidify everything and make sure that everything adheres the right way. And then once we get done with that, for about 10 seconds or so for that final press, we've now created a really simple project, really, really easy to replicate multiple times in multiple different ways. Showed you not only how to do it really easily, but how to utilize other things you might already have laying around to create this project. So all in all, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun little project, yeah. For just literally coming down from a meeting with Anna like 20 minutes before, I picked some pretty decent colors, I think.
Yeah, when Patrick realized that we had a live today.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to say pleasantly surprised with the color coordination that just happened.
See, listen, I'm learning. But anyway, with that, this is just, again, really convenient, so super simple, but I want to see these ones posted, guys. If you do decide to take these scraps, whether you are one of the winners, because again, you know, we're giving stuff away. Come on, who do you think I am? But if you are one of the winners, and even if you're not one of the winners, this is something that would be really cool. We got stuff coming up for all of you guys, whether it's you got kids in sports, you got a birthday coming up, you got a fun event. Make something fun for yourselves. Don't worry about keeping plain Jane simple colors. Let's make it fun again. Okay, so with that, we got any questions coming in?
Well, no, I'm just going to say a couple people chiming in too. You guys, the sky's really the limit with all the colors you have to work with. You could make an ombre, you could do it really stark contrast, and then you can also change the direction too, like Patrick was saying. So really, you could do 5 or 6 of these and they all look unique.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. One of ones is what we're making here. So all of these scraps for the lucky winner of whoever gets the bag that I pulled scraps from. I also have a bunch of scraps that I'm going to add in there, as well as with each of these scrap giveaways. How many do we have total? We said we have 5 on Facebook, 1 on Instagram, right?
No.
5 are on Facebook. Post is already out, though.
Post is out.
Good. So go over to Siser North America over on Facebook.
Myrna's going to drop that link in the comments for you guys for
Sweet.
Facebook. YouTubers, you'll have to hop over to Facebook to actually get to it, because I don't think links work on YouTube.
Correct.
But there's also one that's going on Instagram as well. We called it a rainbow giveaway.
Ooh.
You just have to tell us what your favorite Siser HTV color is.
I love it. I love it. And if I'm not mistaken, you said, okay, so total. So we have 1 extra, maybe.
I do believe we have 1 extra.
We have 1 extra. All right. So
Of
can we
course
add?
we have 1 extra.
Can we do one thing? And I'm sorry for everybody up in support. Can we do one thing and throw a couple? We have a bunch of these sample sheets. Can we throw a bunch of TTD in there too? All right. So each of the scrap giveaway winners too will also get a couple of sheets of TTD mask. So you can also try this method if you don't have it already. Sorry about that, to add that in. But since we have 1 left over, I think what we should probably do, because I mean, we haven't been on since February. We kind of owe the people a something or another. Maybe we should do a giveaway right now. Yeah. All right, let's run it. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Give me a second. Don't start commenting just yet. I'm not even going to tell you what the keyword is yet until I set it up. But I'm going to go ahead and set up the giveaway right now in our buddy Adam's absence today. All righty, let's go ahead and I'm going to put in, let's go scrap. All right, don't comment yet, though. No one comment just
They're
yet.
They're super eager, Patrick. Hurry up.
All right, so we're going to start collecting right now. Now you guys can start, as of right now, comment the word scrap. And we'll give you like 30 seconds or so. There we go. All right, they're climbing. Got to enter the word scrap to get into the giveaway. And also, if any Siser people win, we can't win. So I've tried every live, trust me. All righty. Let's go ahead and throw this in here too while we're waiting. We're going to give everybody about 30 seconds or so more before we actually draw this one. You need a charger too? Are you dying over there too? I think this one should work over here. Yeah, this is on. You're going to have to just pull it around the camera. All right, cord. Ooh, yeah. There we go. All right, the word scrap is what we're commenting. And make sure you grab the base too.
I see Emily in the comments.
Oh, is she trying to get in?
She can technically win, I think. She's loud, right?
Wait, which Emily?
My friend Emily.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the other thing. It's funny because I don't think that people on the inside joke for the After Darks, but I don't think people on the After Dark, I don't think our Emily realizes that I'm talking to your Emily. Thanks for tuning in at a daytime live, Emily. We appreciate you showing up today. I'm going to get smacked if she ever sees me in real life. All righty. So I think that that's good. We'll give everybody a couple more seconds in here. Hey, girl, hey. All righty. So we're now going to shut this down. We got a few entries in here right now, and I think we should probably draw a winner, yeah?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Really missing Adam right now.
All right, so we're going to draw right now. And the winner is... Ooh, Barbara Lieber. Does that sound right? Barbara Lieber. Congratulations.
I think it's Barbara.
Barbara Lieber. Barbara, we appreciate you. Jesus. Why did the extra A throw me off? Barbara. Okay, Barbara. Thank you, Barbara, for entering. We appreciate you, but you are the lucky winner, and because I did that, I'm going to throw in a little bit extra because I screwed up the name. But will say ahead of time, we all know this. I'm not the best with spelling, with reading, with writing. I know crafting, and I know how to craft. Listen, between all of us here, I know how to craft my ass off. But it doesn't mean that I know how to say a name properly, so I apologize.
Oh, and now we're swearing on live sound.
Well, that's daytime. Well, I forgot it wasn't a nighttime one. Anyway, with that, congratulations, Barbara Lieber. I'm going to say the last name right. Barbara Lieber. Congratulations. The only thing that I need you to do for me, and we'll pop it up on screen really quick. Let me make sure I can grab the right banner. Let's go. Where is the support one? Oh, here we go. So all you have to do is send us an email to social@siserna.com. This is a Facebook winner too, so we could probably get or find her on Messenger as well, or send us a private message on Facebook. Only thing that I need from you, Barbara, all I need from you is I need a home address or a business address. It cannot be a P.O. box. Okay, so that's the only thing. But other than that, congratulations on winning the 4th Semiannual Scrap thingy giveaway. Congratulations on winning, Barbara. We appreciate you. Obviously, I've crafted too much today. I'm smelling too many chemicals in here. Whatever's going on, it's going nuts. So, any last words?
Since Patrick is having trouble speaking today, anyone who did not win, just a reminder, you have until Friday to find the post on both our Facebook and Instagram. So there are more chances to win. Oh, now I can't talk. It's contagious.
Myrna, you try.
It's contagious.
Now you try, Myrna.
Make sure that you enter on Instagram and Facebook if you didn't win this one, or even if you Barbara, if you want to enter the
There we go. All right, perfect. That
All
works.
bets are off now.
All right, good news is you won't be seeing Anna and I anymore. It'll be Myrna's show from now on. But other than that, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us in another semi-annual Oh Scrap giveaway. We had an awesome time. I love doing the daytime lives. I think they're really fun. I really appreciate you guys. Also, if you guys have any follow-up questions, comments, concerns, you can always reach out to us at info@siserna.com. If you want to know everything that you can possibly know about Siser, just travel on over to www.siserna.com. That's SiserNorthAmerica.com. And you can follow us on all social platforms over on YouTube. We also have Instagram. We have Facebook. Make sure that you join that Siser North America support group over on Facebook. And if you have any technical problems, any issues, not only can you utilize the support group, but you can always reach out to us at support@SiserNA.com. But I think that wraps it up. We all good? Cool, cool. All righty. Well, congratulations one more time, Barbara. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody always watching, following along. If you're in here right now and you haven't registered for the After Dark tomorrow, I'm doing mixed media. We're doing DTF, easy transfers. We're doing heat transfer vinyl. And I don't have a project yet. So I'm going to go back upstairs and start working. But we love you always. Stay creative. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.